Recently, discussions on lowering the minimum age of criminal responsibility in Korea are a hot potato. It is also the reason why the Netflix series Juvenile Justice, which attracted global attention earlier this year, was produced. The Ministry of Justice has decided to lower the upper limit of the age of juvenile delinquents. It was President Yoon Suk-yeol's election pledge, and legislators have also proposed amendments to related laws. In fact, most of the people seem to agree with the amendment. However, the National Human Rights Commission of Korea is expected to announce its opposition to the proposal. Then, why did this discussion come to the fore in Korea?
This is because juvenile crimes committed by abusing the juvenile law are on the rise in recent years. A representative example is the case in which a 13-year-old boy who committed habitual thefts about 20 times proudly shouted at the police station, saying, "I'm a criminal minor. Can you punish me?" In addition to this, there have been many cases in which most of the juvenile offenders showed no signs of remorse or apology, but rather used the word criminal minor as their shield and weapon. Therefore, there were numerous public petitions urging for abolition of the Juvenile Act.
Moreover, doubts were raised about the effectiveness of the juvenile protective disposition. Teenage boys who killed a delivery man by hitting a motorcycle with a stolen car 2 years ago were recently booked again. The assailants extorted money and valuables from young students, dragged them from place to place for 18 hours, and brutally assaulted them. The victims were severely tortured and suffered physical damage. The perpetrators committed another crime even though they were on probation due to the incident 2 years ago. Of course, in the case of violent crimes, it is possible to send young offenders to reformatories. Unfortunately, this is not recorded as a criminal record, so the recidivism rate is quite high.
How do other countries punish juveniles? Common law in the United States sets the minimum age for criminal liability to be 7, but most states do not set such a minimum age. Since the jury system is used, the public decides on a case-by-case basis whether or not the child is responsible. The British and Australian law states the minimum age of criminal responsibility to be 10. Even countries that have set their minimum age higher than Korea have other options. For instance, in China, parents take joint responsibility for the crime. These systems are improvements that those in favor of repealing the juvenile law or lowering the age of criminal responsibility hope to be introduced in Korea.
However, not everyone, including the National Human Rights Commission of Korea, agrees with the amendment. Studies by neuroscientists and sociologists shown that adolescents exhibit a lack of impulse control and an underdeveloped sense of responsibility more often than adults. As this leads to hasty and reckless decisions or actions, it is argued that the current juvenile law was enacted to the effect that sufficient opportunities should be provided for children. Experts claim that the possibility of reformation should be left open until the age of 14. How should we live with juvenile delinquents? Some countries are intensifying the punishment for juvenile offenders, while others are trying to raise the minimum age of criminal responsibility. This would be evidence that there is no clear answer on how to deal with juvenile delinquents.
Could it be that we don't usually listen carefully to our society and the youth around us, but only upset about the juvenile crime cases reported by the media? It'll be necessary for all of us to take an active interest in society and discuss the direction our society should take. Thank you.